Good, good day. Today I want to talk about why some bridges need to be burned. I remember one time when I was a kid, a child. I'm pretty sure my mom's gonna watch this video and correct me, and say she didn't raise any goats. So let me correct it. When I was a child, I remember one time my mom was having a discussion with somebody else, and I heard her say, I heard her say, "Look, I don't care. I burn bridges." And first when I heard her say it, I thought, "What? She burns bridges?" Because I took it literally. Kind of like when I said to my daughter one day, off the top of my head, I don't know where her toy was, and she said, "Well, I never thought that the toy was on top of your head in the first place." So like that, when she said she burned bridges, I thought she meant she literally burned bridges. But later, when I learned the term "don't burn your bridges," I realized what my mom meant when she said that she did burn bridges. And I also realized that I too was a bridge burner. And I'm not a bridge burner by practice. I don't burn bridges just to be burning them. But sometimes some bridges need to be burned. Like, have you ever been in a situation with a person, maybe you thought they were your friend, and you found out that they really weren't? Maybe they were using you. And there's a tendency among people who want to be seen as good people or want to be seen as nice people, or they want to give chances to people because they want somebody to give them a chance. All that's well and good, but sometimes you got to burn the bridges. Even my boy Jesus, and I hope you don't get offended me calling him my boy, but I just love the guy. But anyway, I laugh sometimes when I read in the scriptures where he told his disciples, if the people don't, he said, bring your peace with you to a place, but if the people don't want to hear what you got to say, bounce. That's my translation. He was like, get out of there. And you know what? Kick the dust off your feet. And when he said kick the dust off your feet, that's a kind of way of saying burn those bridges. Because he said, hey, kick the dust off your feet. Basically, don't take anything with you from that experience, not even the dust on your feet. Kick the dust off your feet and keep them moving. And sometimes we really need to do that because there are points in our lives where we want to progress and go to the next level of this, that, or the other thing, or we just want to do something better for our lives. But because we have this thing where we don't want to burn bridges, or we want to be seen as good, or we want to leave that back door just in case we change our mind on some commitment that we might have made, we'll leave an opportunity to go back to something that was not working for us in the first place, whether it's a relationship, whether it's an addiction, whether it's just a distraction that takes you away from the goals that you might have in life. But sometimes you got to be like, the bridge from here to there, I'm never going back there again. Therefore, hitherto, and thus forth, and whatever. Burn that bridge. Burn it. Get rid of that bridge because you don't want to go back there. If there's something in your life right now that you know you never want to go back to, I recommend burning a bridge or two. Burn the bridge. Pour gasoline on it or some other kind of alternative fuel source and get rid of that bridge. Because the point is, if you don't intend on going back, then there's no reason to have that bridge there. And I know that that might seem harsh, especially when it comes to relationships, but there are people in a lot of our lives who do us no good. And the only reason we have an attachment to the people or the product or the thing or whatever it is either the made up value that we give to time, like, well, I know them for like 20 years. So what? They sucked for 20 years. I know that sounds terrible, and some people may think that that's not a spiritual thing to say, but sometimes you have to love people from afar. Sometimes you have to wish the best for them, but in also wishing the best for you, get away from them. And it's not because you're trying to be a bad person or a not nice person or something like that. There are some people who their goal is to harm you. And it's not because they're necessarily bad people themselves. They may be misunderstood. Maybe they didn't get the bike that they wanted when they were a kid and they never learned to get over it or something like that. And unintentionally, they will put harm to you. There's professionals who can work with them and help them to get to a different level. And they can pay that person and they might listen to them. But with you, They're just going to take and take and take until you are stuck with nothing but emptiness and resentment, and you wish you never were around a person in the first place. So why not burn the bridge now? Or if there's some, like I said, like an addiction, and you say, well, no offense, but say you're addicted to something, and you're also attached to other friends or people who are addicted to the same thing, if you ever want to get past that, you may have to burn the bridge. And then maybe once you get to a level of strength where you can handle being around the behavior or around the substance and it not influence you, maybe you can build another bridge and try to help those people come across it if that's what they want to do. But if you know that you're not strong enough to do that, then maybe you have to burn your bridge so that you don't go back. Not trying to beat a dead bridge or anything. I'm just trying to put it out there because I do know that there are a lot of people who suffer a lot of things longer than they have to, and sometimes it's because they left that bridge there. They start running back because once they cross that bridge and go into the unknown, they get afraid and run back to what's known, even if what's known is harmful to them. And the only thing they can do to stop themselves from doing that is to burn a bridge. And sometimes when we don't burn that bridge consciously, we get to a point of frustration where we push people away in a subconscious effort to burn a bridge. But if we do it consciously, sometimes we might be able to do it with more compassion. You might be able to say, look, I love you, but I've really got to change. Or you got to say, look, I don't want to eat these Twinkies anymore. I can't go to the bakery anymore because when I go, I eat Twinkies. Or I can't go to the bar anymore because when I go, I drink to a level of excess. Or whatever it is that might be the thing that's creating harm in your life and causing you to harm yourself and potentially harm others, when you can always burn the bridge. That's just my point. I know I think I made it pretty well. And, feel free to burn your bridges with me. I'm not going to try to tell you that you shouldn't because I don't want to be a hypocrite of this kind. So if for some reason me expressing that bridge burning is something that I recommend from time to time and you think, hey, that's not nice, I don't really like this guy, feel free to delete www.ruthlesschurch.com or www.seriouslytripping.com or www.it'sallinme.com. Feel free to delete it and never come back because that's good for you. But if hearing that it's okay to burn your bridges makes you feel like, I've been wanting to burn a bridge for quite some time and now I feel a little bit more inspired, feel free to visit as frequently as you would like. Email me, write me, share the post with other people who you may want to tell them, man, it's time to burn a bridge. And this guy with a hat on said that it's okay. And even though he has no authority and he's just running his mouth, sounds pretty good to me. Take some responsibility and spread the word if it does something for your life. And if it doesn't, please ignore it. It'll be good for you and good for everybody else. That's my public service announcement for today. Burneth thou bridges, if thou needest the burnt them, if it beeth good for thine life. In other words, if it's good for you, burn the bridge, create another bridge to a better place. Peace be unto you. Bye.